Hello viewers, well welcome to my F1 Malaysia blog. Now I know it's taken some time after the race. Originally I'd normally run this on the Sunday or the Monday, but with lots of stuff happening this week, it kind of held me up a little bit, and so I'm here now catching up on it, and of course there'll be lots more F1 blogs. Hopefully a bit better timing on them later in the year, and hopefully a bit more in the way of sort of visuals for you guys, because when I make these blogs I like to make them visually entertaining, show some F1 car stuff, photographs, stuff like that. So I'm constantly working on improving these blogs, and hopefully later in the year you'll see an improvement on them as well as a bit more F1 news if that's actually supported by the community, because I like to make these videos for you guys to look at. Of course, Malaysia, the excitement's still there on the back of Jenson Button's win. What a fantastic win that was for him. McLaren looking so strong going to Malaysia, and of course it's quite late in the day at this time of year. It's their rainy season. They normally have a downfall of sort of heavy rain at the same time every day, and it's been a little bit unfortunate for the F1 over the last couple of years. Of course in 2009 they ended halfway or with half points as well. So obviously coming to the Grand Prix, another 1-2 on qualifying for McLaren. It shows just how strong that car is in the dry. The Mercedes drama still goes on, doesn't it? But Michael Schumacher in third place, showing that he obviously has a straight line speed, but the Mercedes still hasn't demonstrated that it has the race pace there yet. But the anticipation was high going into the race. You know, they felt positive. They felt they'd learnt from the first race and the tyre strategies and everything else. Meanwhile, Romain Grosjean in the Lotus has done a fantastic job in both of his qualifying sessions, so it was good to see him back up there again, that smile back on his face. The guy is probably one of the happiest people in Formula 1 at the moment. Away from the start then, it was a good start for Lewis Hamilton. Obviously he's needed a better start than he had in Australia. Michael and Romain Grosjean coming together a couple of corners down the road, and that spun Michael out and put him right down in the pack, and from that he was never likely to recover for the rest of the day. And of course then we had the rain coming. Perez made an early stop, and of course we had the safety car incident, and of course Jenson came out ahead of Lewis, and that's really where the race sort of transformed then. Jenson had a coming together with Carter Cahan, broke his front wing. Jenson admitted that Carter Cahan opened the door. He didn't open the door that much. I personally felt Carter Cahan could have actually gone a bit wider and let them through. I mean, I know we're racing, but come on, your car's about 10 seconds a lap slower. You're not battling for the World Championship. It really is a bit silly that you're only there by virtue of the fact that it started raining. It was a silly incident, but either way, Jenson took it, you know, admitted it was a mistake. He should have been a little bit calmer and sometimes just accepted the fact that he was going to lose track position anyway. Either way though, broken front wing, and from that he was never likely to recover. New set of tyres he put on weren't working for him. He had to pit again. I think it was something like 4 or 5 pit stops in the end for him. It wasn't working. Meanwhile, Alonso was showing just how strong he is in this Ferrari. Certainly seemed to work in those conditions, as did Perez. And Perez just seemed to go for it on the day. What a fantastic race from him, with Lewis Hamilton in third, unable to close the gap. Perez was putting in lap after lap after lap, and as the conditions changed, he stuck with Fernando, even in the drying conditions. It was really impressive to see his run. Obviously, Jenson way back made it up to 13th place, and of course he had to get past people such as Massa, who was still bumping into cars and driving all over the place. I mean, you have to wonder how long Massa's going to be able to stay at Ferrari with performances like that. We're not talking about pace, we're not talking about speed, we're just talking about general driving and conduct as well. It does seem to be he's a little bit all over the place, very difficult to overtake, but not in a very clean way. It was interesting seeing just how much he's struggling in that car, and obviously he's aware that his race is under pressure, and a good result from Perez probably won't have helped that. Of course, behind Lewis Hamilton in third, we had Vettel and Webber, who were gradually closing the gap on Lewis and putting Lewis under more and more pressure towards the end of the race. But Carter Cahan again coming into it, his front wing contacting with Sebastian Vettel, and Vettel getting a damaged tyre, and that effectively ended his chances of scoring any points for the day. Vettel's been absolutely furious since, calling Carter Cahan names. Carter Cahan called him a bit of a crybaby, as I understand it. Looking at it, you know, Vettel just pulled in too quickly. I don't know what he expected Carter Cahan to actually lift to move out of the way. He just didn't give enough time, and I think that was his own frustration. In a way, he fell into a similar gap to Jenson. I think they see the HRT, they consider it to be so slow and utterly useless that they just, wish it wasn't there, but you can't. The car is actually there. Whether he's made a mistake or whatever, you have to account for that car is there. He's moving at a similar pace, and you're going to have to overtake him and give him a wide berth. Everything else, that means dirtying your tyres for a second, so be it. I think Carter Cayenne probably should move off the racing line when there's a World Championship leader coming past him. But either way, I think it's certainly food for thought, and I don't think Sebastian Vettel or Jenson Button will be making that mistake again anytime soon. I'd say one of the highlights of the day has to be Bruno Senna and Kimi Räikkönen. They were both doing a fantastic job all day, really solid drives from both guys, and I was really pleased to see them working their way up the order and coming in. I think overall it was a very positive race for those kind of conditions. The cars were widely split at the end, but at the same time it showed that there is potential to that Ferrari. There's no doubt about it. And I think if they can fix those elements, and they say there's a new front suspension and new bits coming for Barcelona. Force India say they've got a major upgrade coming sometime around May, something like that, which is going to transform their performance. That'll be interesting to see. Sauber seems to be doing very well, very strong in their first couple of races. And of course McLaren in dry conditions, they're a force to be reckoned with. I think we go to China with McLaren still being by far the strongest package out there, and I think it really does depend on the weather conditions again and what they're learning about these Pirelli tyres, how the Pirelli tyres wear and everything else. I think once we come to Europe and we know the races are, well, there's going to be quite a few dry races when we come to Europe for certain. I know China's can often be a little bit of a wet one. Then we're going to see a bit of a transformation of the quickest cars, and it's going to be more about tyre degradation and everything else. And I think it's going to be constantly learning. I think McLaren was certainly thrown off by the tyre degradation of some of the wet tyres and stuff like that. And I think Red Bull, again, don't count them out. They're every bit as quick as McLaren's in race trim, and I think we're going to be seeing them come more to the Championship 4 in the coming races. So that's it for the blog of Malaysia. I know it's taken a little bit longer than I would like it to have taken, but either way, I look forward to covering all the other blogs this season. I will be doing a catch-up on the F1 2011 game, and of course with all news regarding to F1 2012, I'll be covering every ounce of it. But I also have these F1 2011 videos, which I'm hoping to get up on the channel in the next sort of week or so. But that's it from me for now for this blog, and as ever, I'll have more very soon. If you would like me to add any additional blogs to additional news stories that happen in the world of motorsport, do let me know, because I do often get screenshots and photos and video clips I can often use, and I'll present more of that on the channel. But that's it from me for now, viewers. As ever, more soon.